Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Stringer's Notebook. I'm your host, Joel Huerto, editor and publisher of OneManFastBreak.net. Before I dive into today's notes, please hit like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, appreciate the comments and feedback. Today's notebook will be about the 2026 college basketball season, particularly the freshman class. This is shaping up to be one of the best, if not the best, freshman classes since the mid 2000s. Max Prep did a ranking of the top freshman classes over the last 25 years, and they ranked the 2007 class and the 2006 class as their top two. 2007 class, that one was headed by Derrick Rose, Kevin Love, and James Harden, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. The 2006 class was number 2 on their rankings. That was headed by Kevin Durant, the Lopez twins, Brooke and Robin Lopez, Taj Gibson, Russell Westbrook. Steph Curry was in the 2006 class, but he wasn't ranked in the top 100. The 2007-2006 draft or freshman classes regarded as two of the best in the last 25 years. But I think the 2026 class is going to turn up to be either equal to or better than those two. It's way too early to be doing player rankings, draft rankings. None of these guys have committed to the NBA. None of these guys have declared for the NBA draft. So this is just all purely a pre-draft ranking of the top guys potentially who could be in the lottery. And I did NBA comparisons with each one of them. It's always fun to do NBA comps whenever you do player evaluations, player rankings, especially younger guys. It kind of gives a window of how you view this player and what his ceiling is. So these are the 5 guys, these 5 freshmen, I believe, potentially could be the 5 best players, 5 best prospects in the NBA draft, assuming they all commit, assuming they all declare for the NBA draft. So I'll start with number 5. At number 5, I have Darius Acuff, combo guard, playing for Arkansas. My NBA comp for Acuff is Donovan Mitchell. Similar size, similar build, very explosive scores, 3-level scores. Acuff, strong in the paint, strong finisher. He's got a nice float game. He's got a nice mid-range game. And he plays for John Calipari. Well documented. John Calipari kind of has a knack for identifying talent. He has a pretty decent track record on recruiting guards, especially point guards. You know, you can go down the list. Coach Cal coached Derrick Rose, John Wall, Jamal Murray, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyrese Maxey, De'Aaron Fox. Acuff may not possess the size of some of these guys, like he's not as big as Shea, or he's not as fast or as explosive as John Wall or Tyrese Maxey or Derrick Rose. But he has a strong frame, good upper body. He plays physical. He has a great core balance. He's got a maturity about his game, the way he thinks, the way he moves. He has pretty good footwork. And he plants his last step pretty well and uses that change of pace to create angles. He can score at all different levels, and Calipari calls him a beast. And I tend to agree. He's kind of a beast of a guard. He's strong enough to absorb contact, and he's not afraid of contact. And he's quick enough, shifty enough to be able to beat first-line defenders, second-line defenders, and create for others. Number 4, I have Darren Peterson, shooting guard out of Kansas. Now, a lot of a lot of draft experts, ESPN has Darren Peterson as their top prospect for 2026. And I don't have a problem with that he plays at a pro level. He has a pro game. And Bill Self, the Kansas Jayhawks coach, calls him a generational talent. And I think he is a generational talent. He might be the most polished player in this class. He has explosiveness, pretty good shot creation. He's a dynamic 3-level scorer. He can play either guard spot. You can have him as a 2. You can have him as a 1. And he's got a pretty good frame. Got a pretty good size on him. And he also has a connection with CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum has known him for a while. And both of them, CJ McCollum and Darren Peterson, came from the same area, the Canton, Ohio area. And Peterson has been working out with CJ and CJ's brother since he was 12 years old. Peterson is kind of like a bigger version of CJ McCollum, but my NBA comp for Darren Peterson is Michael Redd, a right-handed Michael Redd. Michael Redd was a lefty, but Michael Redd was a smooth scorer, smooth jump shot. Peterson has that similar type game with a little more polish in the mid-range. If there's one knock on Peterson, I would say because he's been hurt, he has a hamstring issue that's been lingering for a while, caused him to miss some games. And if I am like nitpicking, again, this is like I love Darren Peterson's game. I think if somebody took him number 1, wouldn't have a problem with that. But if I'm nitpicking his game, he tends to be right hand dominant. Doesn't go to his left as well right now, but that can be improved. He doesn't rebound well for his position, but that's okay. We can live with that. As a shooting guard, you're going to pay him to score, put the ball in the basket. He can be a playmaker, even though that's not his strength. And also, he's not a lockdown defender, so he's not a two-way guy, not at this moment. But again, his offensive skills is already at a pro level. He's got the total package in terms of an offensive game. So number 3, I have Caleb Wilson, forward out of North Carolina. And Caleb Wilson has really benefited the most from this college basketball season because he wasn't at the beginning of the season, he wasn't considered as a top 3 guy. The top 3 was already pretty much the same guys across the board, and Caleb Wilson has kind of readjusted that ranking. And my NBA comp for Caleb Wilson is Kevin Garnett. Now, I'm not suggesting he'll be the next Kevin Garnett, but he's got shades of Kevin Garnett in his game. He's super springy, super athletic for a 6'10" forward. He's kind of a throwback power forward. You'll see KG. You'll see a little bit of Antonio McDyess. And you'll see a little bit of Shawn Kemp in the way he attacks the basket, the way he attacks the rim. He tries to dunk everything. And I love that about him. Caleb Wilson tries to just take the ball to the basket as much as he can and dunk it over people. I think that's kind of a lost art now in today's game. Most 4s and 5s now tend to be a little more finesse. They float, they take threes. And I think it's kind of refreshing to see a guy like Caleb Wilson who just wants to attack the basket and just power everything to the basket. Kind of like Shawn Kemp. Antonio McDyess was the same way. And then the reason why I used Kevin Garnett as my comp is because of Caleb's two-way ability. His defense might be just as good as his offense. The way he defends, the way he brings energy to the defensive end, the way he protects the basket, and also he's a terrific rebounder. He's averaging a double-double. At this moment, I have him at number 3. I wouldn't have a problem if if he goes number one, he's supremely confident. He wears number 8 for a reason. He plays through exhaustion, and he has that Kobe Bryant killer mentality already. So if you project down the road, as he get older, as he gets more mature, as his body matures, he'll be even more of a killer. He'll be more dominant as a 4, or maybe even as a small ball 5. He can play both. He's got the size and he's got the skill set to play both. He does need to stretch the face-up game, or he needs to improve his face-up game a little bit more. But his ability to handle the ball out on the perimeter is already top-notch for a power forward. And his ability to play defense is already top-notch. And in my top 2, you can flip-flop them. These 2 guys have been at the top of the class when they both entered college basketball. I have number 2. I have AJ DeBonsa, the 6'8" forward from BYU. My NBA comp for AJ DeBonsa is Kawhi Leonard because of his two-way ability. Solid, rock solid defender, rock solid offensive player, very efficient, especially in the mid-range. One thing I love about these guys that I mentioned on this list, with Acuff, with Caleb Wilson, with Darren Peterson, and now with DeBonsa, they all have a mid-range game, and they have versatility on the offensive end. They don't force threes. They can shoot 3 balls. They can shoot 3, but it's not their primary, and I love that about them. A 3-point shot can't be your primary unless you're Steph Curry. And AJ DeBonsa has a little bit of Kawhi Leonard in his game, the way he can manipulate, the way he can find his spots, the way he can set up his shots on the elbows, the way he can attack the basket. He can defend his position. He's way more athletic than Kawhi at this stage, at this age. And he's a classic perimeter wing player with ideal positional size and length. And he's very capable of playing a 2 or a 3. And most of all, what I truly love about AJ DeBonsa is the way he competes on both ends of the floor. He plays to win. And I think that right there, if you have that dog killer mentality, you deserve to be either 1 or 2. And then at number 1, I have Cameron Boozer, the power forward / center out of Duke. My NBA comp for Cam Boozer is Chris Webber. Cam is the son of former Utah Jazz All-Star Carlos Boozer. Cameron Boozer shares a lot of similarities with his dad. Both are extremely strong in the block, and both have incredible hands. And that's the one thing that jumps out at me. And that's why I use Chris Webber as my comp for Cam Boozer, is the hands. Strong hands. And that's like one of the qualities that I always look for if I'm evaluating a big man, is the hands. If you have hands, if you can catch the ball and you can rebound in traffic, and also you are able to hold down your position, you can play the position. You can play center and power forward in the NBA if you got good hands. And Cam Boozer is just a grown man. He's always been a grown man ever since high school, in the AAU circuit. He dominated the AAU circuit. And he was on the FIBA team, the FIBA under-19 team, with Koa Pete. Boozer was the most consistent player on the team. He was the most mature, and he's the anchor. He's the anchor of any team he plays on. And he isn't blessed with great explosiveness or great athletic ability. He's not Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson's far better athlete than Cam Boozer. But what Cam Boozer can do is he can carve out space and move people in the paint. And like I said, he's got vice grips for hands. He rebounds extremely well in traffic. He's a double-double machine at Duke. He averages 23 points and 10 rebounds a game at Duke. Shoots a very high percentage, over 60% from the field. The shot form on the three-point shot needs a little bit of work, but over time he'll improve upon that. He'll get better. But what you can't teach is he's got great instincts. Obviously, he learned from his dad. He has great feel for the game. He sets really good screens, which is a highly underrated skill set for a big guy. And he also possesses probably the best outlet pass since Kevin Love. Like, I thought Kevin Love was one of the best outlet passers in the game. The two-hand chest pass and the outlet passes, off rebounds, off misses, off inbounds. Cam Boozer got that Kevin Love two-hand outlet pass, and it is a weapon. He just can whip that pass and trigger a fast break, and that could change tempo. It also creates mismatches on breaks, and it's just an added skill that he has, that just something that he has already in the bag. He doesn't need to work on that. He's already good at that. So those are my 5 talent, and they all happen to be freshmen. These are the top 5 guys, I think, who, if they all declare for the NBA, I think these are the top 5 picks in the NBA draft, the 2026 NBA draft. Cam Boozer, AJ DeBonza, Caleb Wilson, Darren Peterson, Darius Acuff. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these guys if you take them in the top 5. Boozer is a polished big man, but Caleb Wilson, I think, can make a case to be in that top 3, and I think he's there. I think he's a top 3 guy. I think he belongs in a conversation with Boozer and DeBonza. And then Peterson is the most polished pro. He's a natural born scorer. He's a professional scorer already, even at this age. And then Acuff, I've seen some draft prognostications. I've seen some draft pundits that don't have Acuff this high. They have other guys ranked higher, but I just love Darius Acuff. So those are my 5 top freshmen, probably the 5 best players in the country in college basketball. It's been a really fun college basketball season so far. I think the games are very competitive and super exciting, and I think it's because of the infusion of this draft class. This is a really good draft class. This freshman class that's playing right now, and it's also deep. I have a few more guys in mind that we'll throw in the closer we get to the draft. But it's been a good college season so far, and I can't wait for the NCAA tournament to start and watch some of these guys in action.